Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Big Board Battles. Today we have a very exciting game for you. I bring the Warriors of the Dark Gods to the table once again, and I am facing the vile, the hated, Infernal Dwarves. It should be a great matchup. I'm going to the Wicked GT in May, and I've been putting together a chaos list to take there. Instead of my normal Undying Dynasties, I want to try something different. So I've put together what I think is a pretty strong list. It's gone through a couple iterations, and I'm still fine-tuning it and still kind of testing it out, see how I do. But it's pretty strong, and I'm hoping that it'll do well. And so one of the first real tests I took it against was Rob's Infernal Dwarves. He's a really good player, and he does well consistently. So I knew he would have a good list to play against. And so we threw down some dice and took some pictures, and now you can watch it. I hope you guys enjoy. So I didn't get a deployment picture, but he deployed first, and he kind of castled up there, and he wanted first turn. And now let me go through his list very briefly, because I'm not sure on the specifics. But he has a group of blunderbuss Infernal Dwarves with a special type of shot they can do. He has a group of regular Infernal Dwarves with his BSB in there. And next to that, he has a bunch of great weapon Infernal Dwarves, special kind of some sort. And in that group, he has a level 4 Wizard Apprentice with Alchemy, and he has his General, which is a pretty tough cookie. All his characters have 1-up saves, I believe, and ward saves of various kinds. He has some Kadim Incarnates, which are monstrous infantry. They fly 6, they're strength 5, toughness 4, and they're scary. They have this volcanic embrace, which is kind of like an extra stomp for them. He has a monster catapult of some sort, kind of like the Hell Cannon a little bit. It's strength 5, toughness 6, and it can shoot it can shoot panic shots, catapult style at people. And he has a large block of hobgoblins over there. It's all really hard to just get free points off of and pick off points here and there. It didn't have any chaff, which really surprised me. And it also nothing there was free points, if that makes sense. It was something I was going to have to take out a lot if I wanted any points at all. And it's all near that BSB, which means on Infernal Dwarf leadership, it's going to be hard to break him. But we'll see. My list, I have 2 Elder Dragon Centaurs. The one you can see at the bottom of the screen has paired weapons. And then we have the halberd-wielding Elder Dragon Centaur next to my big block of Pestilence Warriors. The Pestilence Warriors have great weapons, the Banner of Filth. And I've gone back and forth between Banner of Filth and Banner of Movement for them, but I like the Banner of Filth. I like the poison attacks. Inside that block is my BSB with Necrotic Miasma and a 1-up armor save. And my level 4 Wizard Master of Shamanism, who is gonna do some work hopefully with those shaman spells. I didn't get Totemic Summon, unfortunately, but I got a Swarm of Insects, the attribute, the Strength, Awaken the Beast attribute. I got Pounding Drumbeat, which would allow me to move forward really far, or 2d6 inches forward. And I got Break the Spirit, which is awesome. Excuse me. I have 4 groups of Lusty Lads, Chosen of Lust. I like to call them Lusty Lads. And they got halberds, I should say, on all of them except for the one with the red banner. They have paired weapons. I have a group of 5 Hell Riders, a group of 8 Warhounds, so I can fill out my core points, And I have a war shrine, a battle shrine I think it's called, with a mark of true chaos to give me an extra break the spirit through bound spell, which is I think one of the best spells in the game right now. Shamanism is one of the few lores worth taking, in my opinion. His wizards, alchemy, like I said, and he had a bunch of spells. I forget what they are exactly, but they were dangerous to my armor, and I didn't like them. Okay, so he takes first turn, moves up with his blunderbuss guys, takes a shot out of my dogs and the Hell Riders, kills all but 4 of the dogs and 1 of the Hell Riders, and he gets off Corruption of Tin on my Elder Dragon Centaur on my left, and that gives it a permanent -1 armor save, and he makes them flammable, which is a problem too. My turn, nothing much else happens. He shoots with his catapult. I think it missed. My turn, I charge his blunderbuss guys with my Elder Dragon Centaur. He holds for that, passes his terror check, but then I charge into his flank with one of my Lust chosen groups, and he elects to flee from them. And so he flees through a bunch of stuff and ends up where you see on the board there. So that was pretty good for me because it's hard. It's going to be hard for him to reposition those guys, and it kind of opens up a lane for my big block of Pestilence Warriors to kind of just start moving up, as well as my other Lusty lads to kind of start moving up. And that's what I did. I just positioned everything. I put my chaff where it needed to be, the dogs in front of one group and the Hell Riders in front of another. So they would have flank charges on one and a front charge on the other. And just to see what happens. Magic doesn't really go my way. I don't get off a single spell, I don't think. I do stupid whip his dwarf unit, but he will later pass his stupidity check. So, top of 2, he charges my dogs, and I elect to flee with them, which was a mistake in retrospect, simply because I could have rolled very low and kind of just blocked my own charge from the Pestilence Warriors. Luckily, though, he charged, and I rolled out of the box to get away, and I popped through my Pestilence Warriors, so I'm back there. He redirects onto my War Shrine, and War Shrine also elects to flee, which I do, and I'm not too concerned about that. That was probably the right choice there. He charges into my Hell Riders, which is fine. You know, I know he's going to just destroy them, but it buys me time basically and allows me to control when I charge, which is the point of chaff. I reposition what I can. I swift reform and move up with my Pestilence Warriors. I move up with my Elder Dragons, or my Elder Dragon Centaur kind of shuffles forward from the failed charge. The Lust chosen over there shuffle forward from the failed charge, and I just kind of position myself where I need to be. During his magic phase, he gets off another spell against my EDC, and between that and the Hobgoblin shooting, he manages to put 2 wounds on the guy. And I was actually kind of worried that he would do a lot more. But luckily for me, he wasn't able to get those wounds, and I was able to make what saves I could. I think he did 5 wounds total with the Hobgoblins, and I saved 4 of them, or 3 of them. Anyway, when it comes down to it, he got 2 wounds on the Elder Dragon Centaur. So, oof. Sorry for the blurry picture. Sometimes I'm not the best photographer. I'm not a photographer at all, but it is what it is, and I hope you guys can kind of make out what's going on at this point. I hemmed and hawed a bit about whether I wanted to charge in or kind of just lead them on and wait for my Pestilence Warriors to kind of get in position. But I wanted to see what these guys could do. I wanted to see if I threw them against a kind of like a big block of stuff, if I could do some damage. So that's what I did. I threw my Paired Weapon Warriors, my Halberdier Warriors, and my Elder Dragon Centaur all all of them go into the front of that big block of dwarves. And I make all the charges. I was close enough. And yeah, I'm kind of not sure at this point how that's going to go. Like I said, this is a test game. I want to stress test my list. I want to just see how it does. And this would be a great test for how if I could do some damage and survive some counterattacks with those great weapons. My other Elder Dragon Centaur gets into his BSB's unit, and my only goal here is to kill his BSB. I'm going to throw all my attacks against him and hopefully do enough wounds to kill him or put a serious hurt on him. I just reposition with my other units. My dogs rally, but my War Shrine fails twice in a row and continues to flee down the table, and that's worrisome. I don't want to just have that thing disappear. I do get a spell off. I think it's Insect Swarm, and I do a couple wounds to his Hell Cannon. So I slip a couple through there, so that's nice. Other than that, not much happens, and we go to combat, and it goes rather well. I'm able to kill 15 Infernal Dwarves, and he does 11, 12 wounds back. I charge, have 2 banners, I win, but he's stubborn and sticks, and I'm going to have to eat the counter charges that are coming in at me. And that's going to suck, but like I said, I want to see how I'll do, and I really am glad I got these guys to a more manageable level. I reform as I can to get more of my Halberdier guys in, and I also charge with my other Elder Dragon my other Elder Dragon Centaur does a single wound to his BSB. He doesn't take any in return, though. He still loses combat because he has a BSB, a standard, and 3 ranks. I have a charge and 1 wound, so I need a 6 to stay, and I make it. And on his turn, he countercharges as expected. He throws his catapult monster into the side of my Elder Dragon Centaur there. He throws his Gadim Titans into the front of my Elder Dragon Centaur and his Hobgoblins into the side. And that is gonna hurt. It's not gonna be a good day. But I'm going to go first, and I'm going to do a lot of wounds, and hopefully I can do enough to stay in combat, and I can do enough to just wipe out that big great weapon unit and get all those points. And that's my goal here, is just to grind through them. And yeah, I know I'm probably going to lose all my stuff that I have thrown in there, but it's holding them in place, is allowing, you can see my Pestilence Warriors slowly sneaking up the side. I'm hoping to just take out his BSB as well with my Elder Dragon Centaur. Just do 2 more wounds. I know I'm gonna lose the combat, but I have to try here. And I don't think I'll die. He might catch me, but my Pestilence Warriors are willing to take that chance to go in and to take out the remnants of what he has after all my guys are done grinding through him. Yeah, DJ dropped the beat. I did excellent in this combat. My Elder Dragon Centaur took 1 more wound. He killed a bunch of lusty lads, but I was able to eliminate all but 1 of his dwarves. And so he has a single dwarf with a standard there. I think I actually win this combat. He stays because he's stubborn. And yeah, that is how it goes. And I'm extremely proud of how my guys do. On the other side, however, I'm not so proud. I do kill the BSB, which is awesome. But then I lose combat, take 2 wounds and lose combat, and I flee. He overruns. He hits my Pestilence Warriors. Oof. Oh, and during his turn, he's also able to get Transmutation to Lead off on my Pestilence Warriors. And so they don't have the strength bonus from their great weapon, which sucks. But luckily, I have a Banner of Filth. So it won't be that bad. I throw my lusty lads into each of the groups. I throw them into the side of the BSB that is no longer with us as group, and I throw the other lusty lads into the side of the cannon, or the catapult monster, just so I can eliminate it, hopefully. It has 2 wounds on it right now, I believe. Yeah. And that's what I do. During combat, I do manage to eliminate the unit, but between his general wizard and the Kadim incarnates, both my Lusty Lad groups are gone. But my Elder Dragon Centaur stays. Hooray! Yeah. So top of 4, he just kind of moves up to kind of look at the side of my Pestilence Warriors there. I had overrun previously into his big block there. Now I should have reformed my Pestilence Warriors so I could have better charge ranges, but I just forgot. That's on me, and I need to kind of step up my game in that regard. I cannot keep forgetting to do simple things like that. My War Shrine rallied last turn. It's just off the screen doing nothing. Yeah, and so he throws his blunderbusses into the side of my Lusty Lads. I knew that was going to happen. And hopefully I could just do enough wounds to stop that big flank and extra banner from being an issue. Combat, he just eats my EDC, but not after I do a few wounds. I think I do 4 wounds to him, which is nice. And in this combat here, I just do enough, so he has to test, but he stays easily. So I reposition, I charge in my BSB out of the unit and into the block, so I could just do some more damage and hopefully get through some guys quicker. I move them, I swift reform and move them up to face the general and wizard unit. I move up my War Shrine so I can get in range for some Break the Spirit action. I move up my Elder Dragon Centaur so I can get in range to countercharge against that group of blunderbuss guys there. And I see his Kadim Titans and I know they're coming in. I cast a Swarm of Insects on my wizard and on the Kadim Titans, and I managed to sneak 2 wounds through. And so he only has 2 models left at the end of the turn. This combat goes extremely well. I only lose a couple guys, but he stays again. In his turn, he charges in with everything. He charges in with his remaining 2 Kadim Incarnates. He charges in my Pestilence block with his wizard and his general. And what you see is what you get here, guys. A challenge with my general, my wizard. He accepts with his general, and I know I got scarification off, so I know he needs 5s, but he has that D3 multi-wound weapon and just clobbers my wizard. Just clobbers him. And yeah, my wizard straight up dies. It ends up being a tied combat because of all the wounds he did. I wasn't able to wound his wizard at all. Because again, he still has that transmutation to let. He keeps casting it on it, and so my great weapon prowess is just not there. The Lusty Lad battle goes extremely well. I think I kill. I do 4 wounds to the Kadim Incarnates before they strike me. I still take some damage. I lose a few more guys, but it's not an issue. I end up losing the combat. By, I think, 1. But because the BSB is right there, I'm able to stay with everyone. So that's exciting. And we go to my turn, bottom of 5. Elder Dragon Centaur charges in. During combat, this is an after combat shot, it looks like. Not the beginning of the turn, but the after combat shot. He kills 2 of my Pestilence Warriors, but it's not enough, and because I have 2 ranks and a standard, I win by 1. He breaks, I pursue, and I catch him. I kill his incarnates off, I kill his other group of dwarves enough so that they break, and I pursue, and I catch, and my Elder Dragon Centaur just goes nasty on these guys, and I kill a bunch too, and he doesn't really do enough wounds. He stays there, but at this point, we call it. It's pretty much game. He doesn't have the only thing he has left on the table is that group of blunderbuss guys, and it's gonna be my turn next. Or yeah, it's just not gonna be good for him. But it was a fun game, and it was super exciting. If he had some better rolls, I think it would have gone a little differently. But I still feel like my strategy here was sound. I'm very proud of my lusty lads for just eating that great weapon unit. I didn't know what was going to go down with that. I didn't know how that would go. But I'm happy with how it did. The hobgoblins broke. I forgot to tell you that. And ran away off the board, so that was nice, and that really helped me out too with some points. And so the end of the game, Warriors of the Dark Gods win 20-0. Hooray! I want to put them through their paces on different kinds of lists. I feel that the Infernal Dwarves need chaff, and the fact that he didn't have any just kind of hurt him. And the bad dice rolls, and let's be honest, my dice were pretty hot a couple turns there, and I had to put them down. They were burning my fingers off. But it was a super fun game, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Some closing thoughts. Chosen of Lust are very good. I would take them every day over a unit of Knights. They have similar movement. Yeah, they don't have Swift Stride, but they have that reroll charge range. And they're just light troops, so they can just kind of position and maneuver better than Knights can. They don't suffer a lot of the difficult terrain disadvantages that Knights do. And in addition, they're much more wounds. Yeah, they're lower armor save, but they're much more wounds, double the wounds of a group of 5 Knights. And again, they're similarly costed. You know what, guys? This is a dice game, and you can do everything right and still lose if you have bad dice, or if the opponent just has really good dice. So you got to kind of take that into account whenever you're looking at the odds. Now, it's still smart to play the odds. It's still best to say, this is what's most likely going to happen, so I'm going to plan for this to most likely happen. But one of the things that Chaff is great at is fixing, oh no, that shouldn't have happened issues. You know what I mean? And buying you some time. Multi-wound weapons are super dangerous for my guys. They're great against my EDCs. They're great against my characters. They're great against everything that's a lot of points in my army, and I don't like them. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to mitigate their effect against me. That being said, Elder Dragon Centaurs are perhaps the best monster of the game, in my opinion. 3-up armor save, web skill 6, paired weapons give them, I think, 6 attacks, maybe 5. No, 6 attacks, I believe. They have a fairly high initiative for monsters, and toughness 6, strength 6. They're just really good. You can give them a great weapon to make them strength 8 if you so choose. I wouldn't. I'd give them halberd if you wanted anything like that, which I do. I give one of my guys halberds simply to get through some armor. But the paired weapon guy is also really good because he has a higher initiative, and extra attack kind of mitigates flubbing a little more and a little better. But anyway, this is a fun list to play. If you guys want to leave some comments what you think of the list itself and how I did, and if you enjoyed the report, or if you'd like us to do it a different way. But yeah, thanks guys.